In this video, we are going to talk about the 10 most dangerous and deadly pedestrian bridges in the world. So before starting, please like this video and subscribe to this channel for future updates. It's likely that if you're not a traveler and you're watching this video online, you haven't traveled to the world's most dangerous regions. The modern world isn't the norm on this planet, yet we can frequently forget this because of how comfortable our lives can become. People do, in fact, live in jungles, mountains, close to cliffs, and above raging waterways. These people must find a method to get from A to B, and using a vehicle isn't always an option. Both a sidewalk and even a straightforward dirt road aren't always appropriate. Most people would build a bridge to cross the more dangerous regions of the earth. Many of these bridges are flimsy, unrefined constructions made by natives for passage in far-off places. Others are constructed with safety in mind, but due to their heights and positions, they pose a very serious threat. Take a look at some of the world's most hazardous pedestrian bridges, whether they were custom-built or not. Number 10. Aiguille du Midi Bridge, France. Anyone who has even the slightest fear of heights should not cross this bridge at the top of the Aiguille du Midi in the French Alps. At around 12,600 feet in the air, it passes between 2 points of one of the French Alps' tallest peaks. Three nations, France, Italy, and Switzerland, can be seen from the adjacent observation deck. On a clear day, it is even rumored that one may see the Matterhorn. While the height and mountain winds present the most obvious risks, it's also strongly advised to bring a strong sunblock. You run the very real risk of getting one of the worst sunburns of your life due to the increased proximity to the light and the reflection of the sun's rays off the snow and ice. You may just use a cable car system to get all the way up the mountain instead of having to climb it to reach the bridge. The system took approximately 40 years to build. Number 9. The Monkey Bridges, Vietnam. These bridges, which have been dubbed the world's most perilous by numerous travel websites and publications, are named after the monkey-like pose one must adopt to cross them. They are spread out around the Mekong Delta. They don't appear to be particularly harmful at first. The risk of falling or the bridge collapsing is substantially higher, even though they are not nearly as high up or lengthy as a bridge connecting two cliffs or two mountains. In most cases, a single long bamboo log serves as both the bridge's main structural element and a railing. These log supports are simply a series of additional bamboo that has been crisscrossed to retain the logs at their intersection. Number 8. Puente de Ojuela, Mexico. In the latter part of the 19th century, ore was previously transported across this bridge from several locations inside the mining town of Ojuela. Due to the entire depletion of the minerals, the settlement has now turned into a ghost town. Built in 1898 during the mine's peak production, the bridge has subsequently, along with the ghost town, become a popular tourist destination. The bridge was reconstructed that same year and is now only broad enough for pedestrians to pass. It spans around 300 meters from point to point, is mostly composed of wood, and looks over a large desert canyon. Death would undoubtedly result from a fall. It is strongly advised that neither minors nor those with physical disabilities cross the bridge. Number 7. The Hussaini Hanging Bridge, Northern Pakistan. The crumbling ruins of what may be one of the world's most lethal bridges hang right next to it. This straightforward wood and rope bridge frequently disappears due to a mix of weather and the seas below. In fact, it's thought that a monsoon recently washed away even the second shoddily built bridge. Even in 2014, some areas of northern Pakistan are still difficult to go through. The more developed regions have access to the only motorway that connects the various locations. Due to the choppy waters and steep terrain, the more distant areas are still renowned for being challenging to travel through. Number 6. Trift Suspension Bridge, Switzerland. Whether you believe man-made global warming is a political hoax or accept the majority opinion of scientists, one thing is for certain: glaciers are melting, and some of them at startling rates. In order to get to the Swiss Alpine Club's Trift Hut, a very tiny suspension bridge called the Trift Suspension Bridge was constructed in 2004. The Trift Glacier, which originally provided access to the chalet for visitors, no longer reaches the required height owing to melting. With a length of 170 meters and an elevation of 100 meters above the earth, the bridge is regarded as being the longest and highest in the Swiss Alps. It was originally constructed as a simpler rope bridge, which was considerably more perilous, but it was later rebuilt into the structure you see today. Number 5. 7 Mile Bridge, Florida. This bridge, formerly known as the Overseas Railroad, is one of the longest in the entire globe. Knights Key in the Middle Florida Keys and Little Duck Key in the Lower Florida Keys are connected by a bridge that was rebuilt after the Labor Day hurricane of 1935 wrecked the railroad and rendered it unusable for vehicles and pedestrians. The bridge spans miles of open sea, making it extremely vulnerable to wind and hurricane damage. Many tourists are too afraid to even attempt to cross it and opt to stay on the key they came to see. Every year, a few more courageous pedestrians visit the bridge for a sprint across it. Number 4. The Capilano Suspension Bridge, Canada. In a forest near Vancouver, this little suspension bridge spans 140 meters and is 70 meters above the earth. Initially, it was just a straightforward hemp rope bridge with wooden planks across the ropes. The bridge itself is still composed of skinny wooden planks, despite the fact that the hemp ropes were later replaced by cables. The most intriguing and terrifying aspect of this bridge is how it curves and loops around a precipice while being supported by a network of cables that meet in the middle. The bridge is quite well liked by travelers, however young children shouldn't cross it, especially if they have trouble staying still. Number 3. The Canopy Walk, Ghana. Despite being a well-liked tourist destination, the Canopy Walk Bridge is infamous for having spots where the ground rises rather than stays level and for having other spots where some rope is simply absent. A bridge connecting the tops of 7 trees that are so tall you can see much of the forest is not something you want to have a missing rope on. 2 persons cannot walk side by side or in opposite directions on the bridge since it is so small. Number 2. Ubian Bridge, Myanmar. In Myanmar, the Tongthaman Lake's 2 opposite sides are joined together by the Ubian Bridge. The decking on the bridge is composed of the same kind of wood that was employed in its original construction more than 2 centuries ago. When you first look at it, it might not seem like such a big deal, especially when you consider that there is a lake below to cushion your landing, but this is a luxury that tourists can only enjoy during specific times of the year. During the dry season, the lake is completely devoid of water. The fact that the Ubian Bridge has no handrails at all presents another potential hazard. If you ever intend to walk across this bridge, we sincerely hope that you have a strong sense of equilibrium. Number 1. Muzutsurubashi, Japan. Even the journey to get to this terrifying suspension bridge, which is known as Japan's scariest suspension bridge, is an exciting experience in and of itself. To begin, the Muzutsurubashi Bridge is located in an isolated area, so if you should happen to fall while crossing it, you shouldn't count on receiving any assistance. On top of that, the only way to get there is to scale a mountain that is so steep that the only way to go up it is by utilizing a set of chains that have been embedded into the rock at various points along the way. When you reach the bridge at last, you will be relieved to see that it is in very poor condition. The planks that you walk on are incredibly thin, and the spaces between them are conveniently just big enough for a leg to fall through. A network of very thin cables is the only thing that is holding these planks up, there is nothing else. What do you think about our video? Let us know in the comment box below. Please like this video and subscribe to this channel for our future updates. Thank you.